This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel scum.
True.
You know,
Wait.
it's big Star Wars stuff because like Celebration just happened. Obi-Wan's shooting out episodes left, right, and center. But we're missing the most important thing we have yet to talk about. The new, well, it's not new. They have it at the beginning of every Star Wars show that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
The characters. There's new characters in it, but specifically the mouse droid is in it. James, what do you take from this? Are we expecting an all mouse droid show?
Yeah, I think why not? I think we need more mouse droids, and they should just call it the Obi-Wan Mouse Droid Show.
Yeah,
my camera is like beyond crooked right now. I'm trying to. There we go. I think that's good. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But I was like, which Jay's hat do I wear?
This one or this one or this one or that one?
I think I have. Don't tell Aaron 30 Jay's hats.
That's a good thing you just put this on YouTube.
She doesn't watch this. It's sorry. She doesn't watch it. What time did you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 4: A New Hope?
This morning, but like just before work and then during work.
Have you seen it twice? Or was it like all in one shot?
No, all like in parts of the first one. Yeah,
I watched it this morning. We gotta get this out of the way because Stranger Things is big right now. It had 300% more views than Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I don't know how you rate that or not. Doesn't really make a difference, frankly. I don't think. Oh, I haven't looked at my comments yet. Heidi's here, Kayla's here, Sooner's here, Vermont's here. Hey everyone, I didn't even notice. But so I don't really know what to make of that because they were dropped all at once. Netflix has more subscribers, blah 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 blah. Stranger Things is also very popular as well, beyond just Star Wars. But Brock, I am 3.5 episodes into Stranger Things season 4. Yeah. And you've seen it, right? So it's a little bit of spoilers here if you haven't seen it, but the Star Wars references are in full effect as per usual on Stranger Things. Our buddy Paul Reiser, friend of the show, Paul Reiser, he makes an appearance and then he's in a diner and he says to Eleven that she is his only hope. And I was like, oh, Star Wars. Anyway, I wanted to get that out of the way. Really appreciate this Star Wars, the subtle Star Wars. Like, it's not over the top like it used to be. It's very subtle now in Stranger Things, so I am enjoying that. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, Obi-Wan Kenobi, we didn't talk about episode 3 together. I did an audio for Patreon because you have a job that makes you work, and I do too, but I have a headset that I just kind of spew words into when I drink a margarita. But so let's just out of the way, Brock. Let's talk about episode 3 very quickly. I just want to hear your thoughts on 3 because we haven't really spoken about it too much. Also, yes, it is Andrew Fantasia's birthday. We're going to get to that in a little bit.
No, we're not. It's his birthday. That's the end of that. What else needs to be said? That dingbat got his mention on Facebook. That's enough. Or Instagram. I'm honestly trying to remember. Oh, we talked about it briefly because it was like Zach Braff.
The only thing. It was back to, I really appreciate this when you watch a show early and I get the text from you, like kind of guiding me through it. And that one was watch the credits. Because I
was like, who is that? I thought it was Seth Rogen.
Yeah, because Zach Braff did his Seth Rogen impression. Yes.
And they modulated the voice. I liked it, obviously, because, I guess now that I think about it, I guess season 3, episode 3 is a little bit more in your face than episode 4 because we have Vader coming down and like Obi-Wan's here, so it's like, oh, then you need to go and I'm going to deal with him, and it's like without even saying it, he's like causing havoc to pull Obi-Wan out of the shadows, because it's like, if I hurt people, his Jedi ways will just. I like how like that they've been talking about that for the first 2 episodes, and they don't just say, he just like does it. He's like pulling people out of their houses, he's strangling them, he's cracking people's necks. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know if it's the same level of him entering the starship in Rogue One through that hallway. That probably is a little bit more epic, but it's just like, it's crazy that a character that is now 40 years old is still this like daunting, like, oh, like Reham hasn't watched that episode yet, and she loves the villains in shows. She loves Vader, so it's like I'm really curious to see her thoughts on that one.
I would argue Vader's the greatest film villain of all time.
Yeah.
I think we said that a few times on the show. I think he always comes in like 1 or 2. Like, one is usually like some stupid villain from some obscure movie where the ranker's trying to be like really snarky. But I think Vader is the biggest villain of all time, and probably the best. My complaint with that whole sequence was it was so awesome, and then he just kind of like lets the slow droid get him and walk away. And it was just like, this show. I really love this show, but there are instances in the show where I'm just like, could you not have just thought it through just a little, like kind of just put a little bit more effort in some of the execution of certain things? It's like, Obi-Wan's got to survive that. You couldn't think of a different way to get him out of there than just have Vader watching him get carried away. So he just lifted him towards him he could have. Anyway, these are my nitpicks of the show. Is basically that. Is like, that was I loved everything leading up to it. I love the cinematography of the flames on Vader.
Yeah.
The fight itself, I thought, cinematography wise, was a little bland. I know what they were going for with the light just from the lightsabers. With Star Wars, man, let's have some like railings or catwalks without railings and stuff. But yeah, tell me what Reham thinks of it, because Vader he's full Vader. I'm with you. I don't think it reached that level of Rogue One yet, but I think I think they're going for it. But the difference, obviously, with Rogue One is there is stakes in Rogue One, and he just like rips the poop off of everything in that scene. And the scene kind of came out of nowhere, and that was our first exposure to Wicked Vader, right? Like, we never had that Vader before, so there might be more shock value that definitely is in there.
And I like, the devotion to keeping the same type of character that you see in the original series, or like when they made Star Wars, it's probably impossible to see out of that mask. So like, real fast movements is just not a thing. And then but like, George Lucas is smart, and he worked it into the character where like, he's unstoppable. He's kind of like a Frankenstein with mind powers. It's like, he doesn't move super fast, but it doesn't matter, because you'll never escape him. So like, obviously, or not obviously, I have no idea what Deborah Chow's thought process was on it, but like, the Vader we see in this, as much as he looks better, he moves a little bit more, like, whatever you want to call it, he still holds true to, like, it's Vader. He doesn't rush. He's like when you play
He's Michael Myers.
Unleashed. He's Michael Myers. Star Wars Battlefront, when you play the missions where you get to be Vader on Hoth, it's like when he does that really quick sprint, sprint, it's like, this doesn't feel right. And you know what? I'm just thinking about it, it's like the main villain in Squid Games, who also wears a mask. It's like, it's interesting how like, we will always go for a villain with a mask that shows no facial expression. You can't even see their eyes, because you're just like, your mind's like, what's under there? What are they doing? What are they thinking? I have no idea. You hear just like a monotone voice, and you're like, I don't know what to do. He's a villain. It's like we genetically want facial expressions to be like, oh, I can understand what's happening.
Well, yeah, the best villains are all hidden behind masks, obviously. Yeah. What is going on with my camera? I just kicked it. I kicked it because I'm angry. Anyway, episode 3 was, a lot of people, that's their favorite episode, is episode 3. Obviously, it ends with Vader and Kenobi. People complaining about the Kenobi fight. That's not the fight. The fight that Kathleen Kennedy was going to be the fight of the century is coming. This was the precursor to that fight. This was, episode 4. So this one, I found a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen on social media or not, which is the be all end all of nothing. But like, it seems like this one's getting a little bit downplayed by people. and there are parts of this episode that I loved and parts that I didn't care for too much. But one thing, Brock, with episode 4 that really disappointed me was how quickly they moved on from that Vader fight. And I'm not talking about him in the back to tank. I'm talking about the emotional scar of Obi-Wan versus Vader. That's the first time he's seen him since Mustafar. He got his ass kicked by him. He's now like, he saw that Anakin has become what he says in A New Hope, where he's more machine than man now, or whatever movie he says it. Like, all those moments, I thought, I mean, we might get to them eventually, but I thought it was lost on this episode. Like, the beginning, I kind of wish it was 38 minutes. You know me, I'm all for the short stuff. But, like, I kind of felt like we needed a little bit more with Obi-Wan just reflecting on what's going on. And that's something that episode 1 had greatly. And since then, we haven't gotten any. And I know I'm the only one that loved Book of Boba Fett, but that's what that whole season was just Boba Fett big thinking. But I think we needed, I think this episode lacked that more than anything. That's what was lacking, was because Vader versus Obi-Wan is always going to be incomplete in anything we see because of A New Hope, right? Like, and you need the emotional stakes, and that emotional stakes has to carry over into this episode. And I didn't get it, and I was a little bit, for me, the biggest disappointment I had in this episode was that aspect of it. And I might be alone on that, but that's me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I cannot wait for that fight. Shout out to Kayla.
Oh, I can't either.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like the problem is, like, we know what's going to happen. We know no one's gonna get vanquished. We know people are gonna get away. Though I'm still on. I had some people say, it's like, oh, I don't really like the actress that plays young Leia, and it's like, it's a little, and I've heard people say like she's very like aware what's going on, and she's precocious the next second, and then she's like, oh, you're in danger, but you're not figuring out that like it's getting worse and worse. It's just like, I like it because it's like, I think I'm gonna hold my full judgment on the entire series, like I said a couple episodes ago, that like until this is done, because I feel like there will be a satisfactory ending to this, but I don't know where it's going, right? Like, because like a lot of people are like, oh, if Leia actually knows Ben, then why doesn't she say you helped me once in the thing? And obviously now we have to kind of I don't think they're gonna like fully retcon A New Hope. I think they'll end the series as like, you have to pretend you don't know who I am.
But it's also like 9 years later.
Yeah.
And he served with Bail Organa in the Clone Wars longer than this.
Yeah, everything she says isn't wrong. It's just sort of, some people are like, well, if she knew him personally, and at the end of this episode, they're holding hands at like sentimental moments, like, yeah, I guess you could be like, well, why wouldn't you say, it's like, you helped me once, can you help me again? I don't know. But because, I think,
well, maybe she wants to hide the fact that was her. Like, you know, I think this is the point you're making, though, is nitpicking. Like, George Lucas did this stuff where you can nitpick everything he did in the prequels versus the OT. Like, you know, you can't. What the problem is, when you start doing these prequel stuff, you're gonna run into these problems because you start fleshing things out, and then you get to a point where it's like, you know, and that's just. That for like, I'm not gonna talk. I don't think I want to talk to anyone's performances in this show because I'm not an acting coach and I don't really care. There's been a lot of it online, but Hayden Christensen got that in the prequels. Ahmed Best obviously got that.
Yeah,
I think the sequels they probably had some as well. So I don't know the Leia though. Yeah, the thing with Leia, like for me, it's like Luke can't be exposed to anything at this point, whereas Leia is allowed to be exposed to more because she knows who Darth Vader is in A New Hope, right? She goes, "Oh, Lord Vader!" Like she knows who he is. She's not really intimidated by him, and you know, other people are like, "Oh, this is the first time I've seen him," but she knows. She has an awareness of who Darth Vader is, so I think that gives them more leeway there. The Obi-Wan stuff. She also calls him Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? How many Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah,
exactly. Hope, but in the show she calls him Ben. So yeah, I mean, there could be a lot. Like, you know, we can't pretend we can't know each other. There could be a lot, or
that's a simple solution, right? Like, it could be a sad thing,
or they just ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whatever. Like I think the reality is this is very. The reality is, sorry, Brock, this is separate from the movies, and like it's like a side story to the movies. So I don't know.
It's, you know, there's an opportunity to see like Alderaan, you know, and like what
Amazing.
was Leia like as a kid? Like, cool, there it is, sweet, awesome. Like, warm people up to the idea that like other people can play these characters. Maybe we after this we start to stray away from the Skywalker saga, hopefully, but like everyone gets too wrapped up on like, oh, only Hugh Jackman can play Wolverine, or only for for a short time. Who is the original Superman?
Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeves. Like he can only, even though he wasn't technically the first Superman, he was the first movie Superman. But like, we've had 3 Spider-Men, and we've been fine with it. And we had a movie where all 3 of them, spoilers, are in it, and we're like, cool.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, you're not gonna get these actors to play the 10-year-old versions of them.
Yeah.
I think she's fine as Leia. I think to the point you were saying though, it's more the writing might have been inconsistent in those whoever you're talking about, their opinion of Leia more than the acting. That's how I would see it. I would actually, for what you just said, to the point that you made a little while ago, it seems more of the writing and directing than the performance is what their critique of it is. I kind of like how Leia here. I actually, performance is fine. I think it's, I don't really want to sound like a dick, but I think it's a step up from Jake Lloyd. It's not like she's not going to win an Emmy for it or anything. That being said, she carries her own pretty well. And Leia's a strange beast of a character because she is tough, and it's like, at what age does she get tough? My thing is, I kind of would like, again, this is me being an old man, I kind of would have been fine if she just stayed on Alderaan and we just got a separate show about her and Bail Organa on Alderaan. And that, I mean, this is a separate thought because we're getting the show we're getting. But I had so much fun in that first episode with her and her parents. I'm like, I would watch a 6-episode show of this, but I would also watch a 8-episode show of Obi-Wan, because my favorite parts of the show still have been the first episode when he's alone on Tatooine, kind of living his day-to-day life, which again speaks to me being old and liking Boba Fett and whatnot. That's kind of, I'm more interested in that stuff than this chase that we're going on. But anyway, episode 3 had one thing in it, Brock, that I thought was spectacular, and I wish the show focused on this stuff even more. And that was the tomb area that he entered, the gray, what did he refer to it as? The we saw all the dead Jedi all around him, the morgue, if you will, whatever it was.
Oh, that's in episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
I wish the show kind of featured more of that kind of part of the lore in it, because I was like, that is, I just that part I was like, stay here. Like, just slow down and stay here, because I thought that was brilliant in the show.
Yeah, and like, it was a cool idea, but like, you're kind of waiting for like someone recognizable. And as much as seeing a youngling in the helmet is interesting, it's just like, wouldn't it been a little bit cooler if it was like, you know, Shakti or Ayla Secure? Like, those are the bodies of Jedi they've slain, correct? Not just like pictures.
Yeah, I believe
they're
so.
like supposed to be like trophies almost.
I think there was one from Clone Wars and one from Rebels in there for sure.
Okay.
I thought we saw Plo Koon off the top, but I was like, Plo Koon. It was not. I don't think.
Yeah.
Let me go back. But yeah, I'm with you. I wish there was someone recognizable from the movies, because again, like, you can geek out over Rebels and Clone Wars, but the majority of people watching this haven't seen Rebels or Clone Wars. And I think if you threw someone in, even if it was like someone minor from the movies, I think it would have had a lot more impact. But I still, like, that kind of stuff is what I want to see more of. And not Obi-Wan Kenobi, not maybe necessarily, but more of these Star Wars shows. Like, let's go into that. Yeah. Let's see that. Because I love Mando. I love Book of Boba Fett. That's very clear. But the Jedi aspect, it's all like, I hope we don't, I know we're all like, we don't need Jedi, but I think the part of it is like, no, we should have Jedi, because Star Wars is about that. And I would like to see more of them going into that lore and seeing more of what happened to them and what to be afraid of. And I don't know, that scene, I was like, just stay here, let it breathe. It wasn't, I mean, I wanted to see a recognizable face, but it wasn't about that. It was about the idea that they did this, right? It was just fantastic. And I just loved it. They're
hunting Jedi and then keeping them in a trophy room. Like, haha. One thing though, it's like I think I texted you, like, when is Qui-Gon going to show up? And we're like, you said, oh, I think that's going to be a final episode sort of thing. But like, what about the Grand Inquisitor? Like, are we ever going to get like the figure out on that? Like, it's just sort of, oh, here comes the hand. Speak to the hand because the face don't care. But you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like you could have made up any Sith Inquisitor character and they could have done the exact same thing, but you chose the one that we like, the first one we're introduced to in Rebels, and
the writers, Brock, said that they know the canon and they're going to respect it. So that tells you that he's going to come back. So and I was just like, I think I tweeted out, I'm like, then what the hell is the point? I'm so like, we keep having these fake out deaths. Like, can we be over the like? You could have picked any other Inquisitor and had her kill that one.
Would have been the same effect,
unless you need the Grand Inquisitor for a story, but then just have him fly away. Just have him be like, hey, this is on you guys. I'm out of here. I got to go deal with a Jedi on Lothal right now. Like, you know, like something else. But for some reason, they felt the need to kill him, which I feel like when I watched it with Aaron, she was just like, oh, he's dead. Like she has no emotional connection at all. She's like, oh, he's dead. And then for me, I'm like, yeah, but he's not. Like, I know he comes back, and then he dies again in Rebels. Which is double stupid to me now. It's
like you just you want that part where she kills someone, so it's like, oh, she's taken over, right? But if you delete that scene but make Grand Inquisitor into the place of fifth brother, it's the same thing where it's like she's superseding leadership. It's like it makes more sense if it's the Grand Inquisitor because he was in charge. Like, but I'm positive. I'm optimistic that they will tie that up at the end.
They will, but he's just gonna go and die in Rebels now. Like I just,
anyway.
My biggest complaint with the Aftermath novel, the first one, was Nora Wexley, Snap's mom, just died like 300 times in that. Like every other page, she died, and then she came back from the dead. And it's like, hey, like stop it. Just either kill them or don't. I don't need a fake out all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating when they do that. But we got to go to Kayla's comment here about the morgue that we just talked about. She says, I almost think they are frozen and maybe a way for them to practice cloning. And Heidi thought that maybe we're going to see Grogu in there, which would have been awesome. But the cloning thing is cool though, because like whether you like it or not, the reality is we're going to get to Sheev VP Palpatine, right? He's coming in Rise of Skywalker, and so all like the Mandalorians, Boba Fett's, and this show, they all have to work towards that in a way. So I kind of like that idea that Kayla has, that maybe they're not dead, they're just frozen, and they're going to practice cloning like they did with Grogu, but there's something that they need with Grogu that these Jedi don't have, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could work. Like if like Mandalorian's going to show anything more about this cloning or like Snoke and all that, that'd be great. Like it's not bad. It doesn't take away from the story, but you're like, and it's like his plan is hidden throughout the galaxy, so there's no way one person can figure it all out because it's in different spots. It's, you know, I guess it's kind of similar to in the prequels where like we're slowly seeing the Death Star get figured out. I actually was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, the crazy part is they're all running around and like the Death Star is being built somewhere. Or like not parts of it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm like, you have no idea what's coming your way. But yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm just overly optimistic. I enjoy this show. I think it fits well with the other Star Wars shows, and we've said it before. At some point, you're just not going to. It's not all going to be for you, because though it is hard to watch this show and then go watch Stranger Things, which is maybe 20 to 30 minutes longer each episode, and is like weaving so many storylines and characters together, and it's just like Star Wars isn't Stranger Things and Stranger Things isn't Star Wars, but like you kind of get to a point where you can tell a very elaborate story and still make it engaging. I mean, you said yourself, James, that like it's an hour show, which you hate, but it's like it doesn't feel like an hour. So it's like,
yeah, no, and two or three of the episodes have taken me multiple days to watch because I'm old and I get tired.
Yeah.
But it hasn't taken away from it, and the length hasn't been a problem with it. But to that same point though, with Mandalorian and even this show and Boba Fett, the short lengths never took away from those ones either. Like I feel like I was saying this to Rob the other day. It's like as long as you like the great thing with streaming is you can take the time you need, whether it's 30 minutes or 130 minutes. You take the time you need to tell the story you need to tell.
Yeah.
And the thing with Rebels is, as much as I loved Rebels, there were episodes I'm like, oh my God, that needed 5 more minutes or I needed 10 more minutes, right? But they couldn't do it. They didn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
But now you do. It doesn't always have to be an hour and a half like Stranger Things to do it. And like you said, Stranger Things has like 1,000 characters. And they keep adding. One thing Stranger Things does better than any show I think I've ever seen, ever, is introduce a character and I go, oh God, another character. And then by like the second episode, I'm like, this is my favorite character now. They have this knack of bringing in new characters. And I'm just like, this is my favorite character. So
we always have to have some kind of bully from high school. Always.
You know what? The bully in Stranger Things season 4 is it doesn't feel very 80s to me. That's the one drawback I'm having on this show. I'm like, you don't feel like 80s Teen Wolf to me.
That villain, I'm like, oh, this is where Trump votes come from. You haven't gotten to later episodes, but you'll see what I mean later on.
Okay, no, I haven't. I'm halfway through episode Dear Billy. That's the big episode that Kate Bush is a big fan of, obviously. And I heard the song in the first episode. I'm like, this is what made this song a bit. Like, I like that song. I remember hearing it as a kid and stuff, but like, whatever. It's. I know what's coming because. Yesterday we
everyone's
watched
talking about it.
And yesterday morning Aaron turned on the news and they spoiled it on the news in the morning. She goes, what the hell? I get one. I was like, it's the news. I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? Anyway, Obi-Wan Kenobi, let's go to this star right here. O'Shea Jackson Jr. making his appearance finally in the show. What'd you think of this character? You're a fan? I'm glad that he's going to be in the back half of this series. And it wasn't just that one part, and that was it. I will say the Wade character did not give two craps about when he died. I was like, I'm emotionally not attached to you at this moment. But I was cool. It was cool to see him. I thought he actually did. I wasn't gonna talk about acting, but I actually thought he was really good in this.
Yeah, like I hope they do more with his character in the upcoming episodes. Maya Erskine from Pen 15 was the other other rebel or whatever we're calling the Path soldier. I loved seeing those, not to deviate from O'Shea Jackson, I love seeing those land speeders go into the loading. It's like, if you throw in like a land speeder or an X-Wing or an A-Wing or whatever, I'm like, I'm in. I'm like, look, there it goes.
Absolutely.
This is why I probably like Star Wars biomes. I'm like, oh, look at the things go by. Look at the CG animated things go by. But yeah, O'Shea Jackson, I thought it was good. And it's just like, that one quick monologue is like, my wife, she had these powers, or I knew about Jedi, she tried to hide it and she couldn't because the Empire can't be stopped. So that's why they're doing what they're doing. Like it's.
And so I want to bring up here, if I can find this comment. There's a couple comments about whether or not his wife might have been Reva. I don't think so, because I think Reva McEntire is from episode 1 and one of the younglings at the beginning of that one. But it's Star Wars. Everything's connected.
No. No, come on. No. Oh, because they kind of look the same. Come on, people. Let's think outside the box a little. For all we know, his wife could have been a Twi'lek or however you want to pronounce it, or a Wookiee. We don't know. Like, come on.
Oh, by the way, have you heard the rumor? This is a rumor, so spoiler alert. But Hera Syndulla is in Ahsoka this show.
Yeah.
Have you heard the rumor that Mary Elizabeth Winstead will be playing Hera in the Ahsoka show?
Oh, wow.
And she is married to Obi-Wan Kenobi in real life. So that has nothing to do with anything. But I think, but the rumor is she's going to be playing Hera.
That's sweet. I love her as an actress. Like when she was in in Harley Quinn and the Emancipation of Proclamation, Birds of Prey. I was like, yeah, I love you. You're the best. I mean, she's Ramona in Scott Pilgrim. Like, you can't
Ramona,
handle
she's great in the Thing remake, and she's and 10 Cloverfield Lane is one of my
Lane,
favorites. And
Death Race. Yeah, she's in it for like 10 seconds.
and the movie's not that good, but she was really good in Kate on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
Kate. Netflix, by the way, there's 3 movies that are identical on Netflix, and Aaron and I watched them all purposely because they were all the same. Was Kate, Milkshake, Gunpowder, or Gunpowder Milkshake, or Milkshake with Guns, or whatever. I don't really know. It's Nebula from Guardians is that one, and the Protege, and they are all the exact same movie. But I watched them all. And every time, and in the middle of all of them, I'm like, this is the same movie we just. Everyone's like, didn't we see this? I'm like, no, different actress, but same plot. But let's go. Let's have a good time. They're all fun. I'll say they're all fun.
I don't know. Reva and O'Shea. What is O'Shea Jackson's character name? I didn't even look it up.
I don't know.
But anyways, I don't know. I feel like Reva is like she's got to be a youngling that somehow. I feel like that's the whole point of that first scene in the first episode.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It doesn't have to be, but like I feel like that. Like Reva gives off this vibe that she has been hating the Jedi in her entire life. So it's like throwing in a husband. I'm not saying you can't hate something and also get married, but like I don't know. It's maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just have a Star Wars podcast, so
I think she was killed. His wife was killed by Inquisitors. Maybe Reva killed his wife. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think so. I like that idea though that he was married to a Jedi after all the obviously after Order 66, right? Like, give me a prequel on his character.
Here's how I actually thought about when I watched that scene. She wasn't a Jedi. She just had Force abilities, and she was just hiding it. Because, like, at this point, 10 years have passed. So she could have been, 5 or 6. Oh, I guess it would have to be a little bit older than that. Maybe,
last week you said you were done with Force sensitive though, and you just want.
So I am done with it.
I'm just trying to appease you.
That's true. I am done with it. I'm just saying this is a character that is dead, so like you can say whatever you want because we can move on because it's just a plot device to understand that character, right? So
absolutely. So overall, this episode, I think it was 38 minutes long, which when I saw it, I was like, right up my laneway.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and I thought it was okay. I kind of wanted. I don't want to say I wanted more. I just felt here was like. I mentioned like I wanted more of Obi-Wan reflecting on the Vader stuff from the previous episode, right? I wanted more of like him coming to the realization that his best friend, the guy, his brother Anakin, I loved you, is now a robot that is terrorizing the galaxy. I kind of wanted more of that. And the other thing too is like the stuff with Reva McEntire and Leia, I was kind of like there were points I'm just like, let's move on. Yeah, that was how I felt. Like, I mean, it was what it was. It didn't ruin the episode in any way for me. It just kind of felt like, like what was the point? I mean, I know what the point was to put the tracker in Lola, obviously, but like, what was really? How many times are we going to hear someone say that no one is coming for Leia when you and I know someone's coming for Leia because Leia is in the entire original trilogy and sequel. Like she's coming up big time.
I maybe the whole point is to make her seem like relentless, where it's just like, you don't scare me. She literally says, I'm not afraid of you. Like that is what we need. Somehow it's going to be like, this is what the rebellion is like built on. Like people that are like, I don't care. Like death is I invite death into the scenario if it means freedom from the Empire. So
and maybe you're right. Maybe we're seeing this. We're looking at this from Reva McEntire's point of view, but maybe it's actually we should be looking at this from Leia's point of view. Like that is more focusing on Leia than Reva.
Wait, hold on a second. Put Heidi's last comment up.
What?
Heidi, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Maybe Leia is Grogu. Have you ever
Stop
thought
it.
of that?
Grogu. You'll get it next year.
Do you think
Look,
Grogu's gonna show up in this
I
episode?
would love it. Like, I would love it, especially in that, like, if it's just a flashback to the temple and he's just there.
That first episode, imagine we go back to that
Ugh.
first episode and we see the younglings all run and the camera does this turn.
Like,
And it
oh,
turns
there
and,
he is!
Grogu's like hiding behind it. Bring it. No, overall, I mean, it's a Star Wars show. I'm really enjoying the show. I thought the lightsaber sounds have been horrific since the Disney acquisition. In this episode, they were actually a lot better, I thought. I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't sound like, for me, I'm still at The Force Awakens when Finn first turns on the lightsaber. I'm just like, what sound is this? Did they get this out? Yeah, I'm like, what? That's not how it sounds. Where's Ben Burt? Bring him back. But
J.J. Abrams' like son or daughter is like, I want to make this lightsaber sound like shunk.
They're too bassy. This lightsaber sounds are too bassy in this. He's like cut it down. There's, like I will say one thing: the Vader voice, which they use the synth thing like they did with Mark Hamill, is how they did the Vader voice in this.
Yeah.
But I also heard that Hayden Christensen did the line, and but whatever. The Vader voice, the first time I heard it, people were like, it's James Earl Jones is back. And I was like, he is. And I watched the episode and I was like, how come he sounds like he did in A New Hope? Because in A New Hope, he's so much tinnier than any other star. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but he's like, which is not a negative or a positive. He's just like a lot tinnier than he is. Because we're always like, oh, I'm your fault. But he's more like, he sounds like he's in a tin can hat, which is more realistic. Yeah. And they did that in this show, and I gotta say, props to the sound guys on that.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I'm like, is he recording still? I'm like, I think he can do it, like, especially in this pre-COVID or post-COVID era where everyone can record from home. But, you know, at some point, like, Disney probably has enough of his, like, dialogue to AI his voice in some way.
I was talking to a friend. I'm like, they should just have him go into a booth right now and do what the voices of like Siri and Alexa do. I can't say it too loud. Oh, she heard me. Stop it. Turn off. And just have him say like every word imaginable, and like they do for those, because then you have it forever. But they're using the synth thing, and I gotta say, I think it's working very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I look forward to the next 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. It bums me out that it's this quick. And that's the thing. It's like, I almost wish I didn't know how many episodes there was, because now it's like, you're a ticking clock. It's like, how are you going to do all the things that we want you to do? Like, I don't know. So we'll see. Yeah. Can't wait for Mando to come out.
Andor in August. We got Andor in August,
Andor, yeah,
in the fall, and then Mando in February. So we've got to wait quite a time for all of it.
I have high hopes for Andor because that first teaser trailer, like the visuals looked really cool. I'm kind of excited to see more of it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I want to know how much these shows are aware of each other. I mean, there's the Favreau Filoni stuff that obviously all are very aware. The Obi-Wan show is somewhat aware to those shows because of the Deborah Chow connection, but Andor is the first one we're going to get that has no connection other than the name to the other ones, and then the Acolytes coming, which is going to be very exciting. But I'm curious because they all have to live in the same universe, like it or not. They all have to live in that same universe.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how Andor's going to fit in. But I'm very excited because I love Rogue One, and I can't wait to see what they've got in store for us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's head on down to Never Tell Me the Odds.
Possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds. Don't tell me the odds, bitch.
Whoa, language.
It's past 9 o'clock, is it?
Yeah, 9:20.
9:20. 9:20. Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to you and everyone that listens to our wonderful podcast by Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do and you're glad that our internet works today, you can come and support us and we can just make your life complete. And
This
you
is
become
incredible.
Yeah, I think it was just a piece of hardware I was not using properly. Thank you for all the people that support us and continuously watch our terrible internet provider. Like these people: Heidi Feder, executive producer; Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanifor, Scott D, Josh Price, Matt W,
Rez, Frank Perkins, Neil, Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Girls with Sabers, and the Den of Nerds.
Den of Nerds.
Apparently, I'm haunted. I don't know what that means.
Haunted.
I am offended by that comment. And Brock, the show is yours. Goodbye.
Well, here we are.
Never tell me the odds. You thought I was gone. You thought I was gone.
See, your money is what gives you this wonderful production value. And everybody, guess what? Shit fire!
Checking the board. She out of here. Nobody wanted you here, Kathleen Kennedy.
When I hit the desk, my wife's computer, I was like, ah.
That's because that's Kathleen Kennedy's computer. She actually has a direct line
You're
to
fired.
Kathleen Kennedy. You're fired.
You're fired.
By the way, Kathleen Kennedy, you're fired. Hawks Holocron says, odds Lucasfilm, like it or not, taped the wall next to... Wait, taped to the wall... Like it or not, taped to the wall next to the future storyboards. Lucasfilm has like it or not taped. Oh, I see. Because fans don't like anything. I gotta say, that's Scotty. That's Scotty Hawk from Hawks Holocrons. Go check out his channel. Go and like and subscribe. But also, he hates Star Wars. Oh, Brock, did you just freeze? This is what happens when you make fun of your internet. You freeze. I would say they probably do. They probably do have that, Scotty, for real. They might have that for sure. And Brock froze it, like the part of the show where we definitely need him to be a part of this. So I'm going to go on right now. Look, the Obi-Wan show could have been so much better had they got Alec Guinness to come back and play. James, if Alec Guinness would have played Obi-Wan Kenobi like he was supposed to in this show, the show would be a lot better than it is right now with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love that Brock is kind of back. Brock, you're back. All right, never done with the odds.
It's because we started bragging about not having terrible internet. Never tell me the odds. What's the first one?
The first time, Leia will be returned in episode 5 and not appear in the finale. Are we going to get Leia going back to the Oregon on Alderaan in episode 5 and not in the grand finale?
I might like jump ship if that's the fate. Oh, I mean, there's not a lot of episodes for us. I'd be like, the heck? No, I think perhaps she is in the grand combination of the series, but like no. So I'm gonna go 10% on that. I mean, cool if they did it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7%. Hawks Holocron saying that it's about the show's about to, like, the last 2 episodes of this show are going to be probably amazing and epic and every way whatsoever. It's like Book of Boba Fett, right? It's like, just hold on, I always tell people, like, get to the 5th episode and you're good. Like, just hold off, man. They're playing the long game on these shows right now. Kayla thinks that Leia will be on the rest of the show. So do I. I don't see how you just get rid of her in the 5th, like the second last episode. I mean, you could deliver her and then move on, but I mean, they're coming fast. They're coming hot and heavy. The Empire is, right? The Inquisitors and Stormtroopers. And by the way, the Stormtroopers sounding like old school Stormtroopers in this episode. Loved it.
Yeah.
I don't really mind like when they sound different, but when they sound like they did when I was a kid, I get nostalgic and shut up. Next on, Vader will lose a limb to Obi-Wan in that final epic showdown. Well, Vader, I mean, he doesn't, like, I'm talking like a robotic limb. I'm not talking
of
like
course.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got that left anyway. But will Vader lose a limb in the last episode?
I'm gonna go full Brock on this because I'm like, ooh, that's cool. But it's like, do we need it to happen? I feel like the final lightsaber battle between these two are gonna be like, okay, so the very first movie had the worst lightsaber battle because they were still trying to figure that stuff out. It's like, So I feel like they're gonna have some epic duel that will finally say sorry for what. It'd be cool if it replicated it, or maybe like that explains why Vader's so hesitant at the beginning in New Hope, is like Obi-Wan just flashes off an arm that can work.
Vader will chip a tooth. Do you think remember somebody recreated that New Hope fight scene and they made them like jumping around, bouncing around? It was cool to see, but what do you think they might do something like that in this? I'm gonna go 70%. He's gonna lose a limb. He's gonna get his butt handed to him. His butt handed to him. Pop, pop. Brock, are you still there? Kayla's saying maybe that could happen. Brock, you're never to compliment your internet ever again. Ever again. By the way, I really like Inquisitor ships. I think they look super cool. Brock's gone. I'm just gonna be like John Cleese and Monty Python. It's just a flesh wound. Exactly. I think I do. I kind of hope that he loses a limb. I think in this episode, in this final showdown, Vader needs to get his butt handed to him. He kind of just served Obi-Wan pretty well. He burnt him. We saw Obi-Wan's back. He got fried pretty badly. I think in the next showdown that we're going to get, I think Obi-Wan's got to come out on top. And like Brock said, that's kind of like the hesitancy that he has in A New Hope. He's like, this is not something I haven't felt since. And he walks away and he goes, last time we met, you were the master, but I was the apprentice. Blah blah. No, I mean, not necessarily the case. I suppose that's a bit of a retcon, but I think. Oh wow, Hawk would be a boot going on right now. That's embarrassing for everybody. Brock's back. Brock, I was just saying, like, I kind of like the idea of Vader getting his butt handed to him by Obi-Wan to fit into A New Hope. All right, our final odd comes from Heidi in the chat. Heidi, right now, there was original. I don't know if it was canon necessarily, Brock, but originally at some point there are a lot of like, if you go back and you see a lot of information on the original movie Star Wars, they make mention that Owen Lars is actually Ben Kenobi's brother in a lot of merchandise and materials from way back, and I might even gone into the 90s as well. I don't think past that, but I think the prequels kind of changed it. But Heidi wants to know if that Owen and Ben might end up being brothers like they used to before. Are they going to, I guess, re-retcon would be the word? I'm not really sure.
I mean, just retcon. I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I hate that. It's like, what? No, I don't like that. 0%. Goodbye.
I'm low on it as well. I don't hate it like you. I think the way the story's moved has kind of changed it. I think there was probably a point in time where that would have made sense, but not so much. Like, I think it could have even made more sense had they been brothers in the prequels, right? And then he brought him to his brother to hang out instead of to. But anyway, I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna go 7%. We got Kayla saying no, and Sooner saying no, and
no way.
And Hawks is saying a boot.
I'm in boot to lose my mind.
He's in like upstate New York. He says a boot more than we. He says a boot more than we do.
North Carolina.
He just called Selena and Barnes on.
Come on down to Gambino Ford. Hi, Mom. I miss Buffalo.
So do I, actually. It's
yeah.
What a great time. Anyway, I'm gonna go 7% on that one as well. Do you have news today?
I do have news.
Okay, while you do the news, Rez is here. I'm going to listen to my Force Awakens soundtrack with 3D hologram.
Take it out of the plastic.
No, it's not in the plastic. It's open.
Oh wow, it's so shiny.
Yeah, it is.
It's so shiny.
This is shiny. This one actually, if you play it on the record player and you put a light to it, it has a hologram, like a Falcon and a TIE fighter come up. So I'm gonna listen to that while you do the news. Everybody else, you stay tuned because Brock has the Hollow News. Hollow News.
All the news, the news you need to know right now. Sideshow Collectibles have created a life-size C-3PO for fans to own at last. And yes, he talks. Why wouldn't he talk? He's 3PO. He never stops talking. This realistic collectible stands 6 foot, 2 inches tall, and 28 inches wide, situated on a Millennium Falcon base with ship flooring and circuitry details. You can check it out on the Sideshow Collectibles website. C-3PO's signature shining gold exterior is detailed with weathering, a silver right leg, and multicolored wiring in the abdomen. He has articulated arms at the shoulder joint and can rotate to various degrees to change up his posture. 3PO owners can remove the magnetic restraining bolt from his torso as an added detail. 3PO comes with a randomized voice track feature, which allows him to say various lines from all 9 Skywalker Saga films. We imagine there's a sir. The possibility of the successfully navigating asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1. Never tell me the odds. His eyes glow via a button on the back you can turn on and off, and it will set you back $8,500, I assume US dollars. Shipping begins November 2022 to February 2023. To order yours, go on down to Sideshow's website and spend all of your monies on that. Gary Oldman has been rumored to have been part of Star Wars, or almost part of Star Wars. He claimed that he appeared in both the prequels and J.J. Abrams' sequels. The acclaimed actor was recently asked by Josh Horowitz on his podcast, Happy, Sad, Confused, and it was shared on a clip on Twitter. Oldman responded honestly saying, I did a voice for Star Wars. I can't remember. Was it General Grievous? It was something to do with union and non-union stuff. Well, there you have it. It looks like we could have had Gary Oldman voicing the villainous General Grievous in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. What more? Oldman recorded the droid's dialogue, what was ultimately removed from episode 2 due to an issue with union rules. I don't know if that's in the movie or, IATSE union, film union. I don't know. And finally, droid builder extraordinaire Mike McMaster created his pièce de résistance for this year's celebration, a made-to-scale life-size Imperial probe droid, a.k.a. the Viper droid. It looks exactly like the ones which found the heroes of the rebellion on their secret base in The Empire Strikes Back. Folks from the Adam Savages tested, interviewed McMaster at Star Wars Celebration about his best custom droid build yet, which you can watch on the YouTubes. Ever heard of it? You're on it right now. McMaster detailed the creation of the iconic droid in the video. He 3D printed it over the course of a year and wired it with servos, motors, lights, and sound effects. The base that it stands on even looked like snow as a way of evoking the ice planet Hoth. Overall, they used over 100 pounds of 3D printed material in their construction and was truly a labor of love. McMaster pointed out the Imperial probe droid only appeared for 40 seconds in Empire Strikes Back, but his spider-like appearance and eerie sounds made an impact on fans from day one. Since Empire, it appeared in all manner of the other Star Wars media. We've seen them in Rebels and most recently in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they make a surprise appearance as well on board the Star Destroyer, that Disney theme park guest board in Rise of the Resistance. If you want to check out more of his droid builds, go on down to McMaster's Instagram account. And this has been your Holo News. Boom. You're muted. Keep on talking. You are muted.
No, I know I was muted. I was singing a song, and nobody needs to hear me sing a song.
Yeah.
Nobody. Top 5. Top 5 moments from episode 3 and 4, because we didn't do an episode 3 breakdowns or discussion or whatever. Let us know what your top 5s are in the comments, live comments or whatever. So anyway, thanks for everybody joining us in the chat today. It's been a lot of fun. My number 5 on our top 5 moments from the show is Vader choking Reva McEntire today. I really enjoyed the I will kill you. And she's like, no, I put a tracking beacon in there. By the way, did that kind of like seal her fate that Vader's gonna kill her at the end of the series? Is that kind of like, are we there? Is that what?
I don't know. Are we ready for this?
Okay, Brock. We all know you're really Deborah Chow in disguise.
Oh!
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Zach Braff as the Mole Man. I know he had a character name, but
Freck.
Freck, that's it.
Oh, I like the Empire. I'm glad you like the Empire too. He was doing his best Muppet voice. I really like it too. My number 4 is the Underground Railway in episode 3, where you see like the Jedi markings and all that stuff. Quinlan was here.
Yeah.
Quinlan Voss.
Yeah,
Apparently, people, Eagle Eye fans, noticed that apparently like Cal Kestis might have been on there, and there's a quote from the High Republic was in there. And Mr. Rez is saying Riva Redemption, and let me just block him quickly.
Oh, you blocked.
Wait, I'm gonna star that. Star. What? I don't know what that does. I just started. I've never started a comment before. I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna zero in. You're like the Nev Campbell of the new Scream franchise. You're out.
You're out. I'll make my number 4 that as well. That is really cool. I love that. You've seen that etched in Jedi emblem in the wall. You're like, oh, that's sick. So yeah, I would love. That's great. Like Cal Kestis, like that would be perfect to put in the new game. Like just those little details are like he's on the path or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, loved it. Number 3, Obi-Wan talking about Padme to Leia. Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Whoa, that was a weird noise. Number 3 is gonna be their Jedi trophy room. That was kind of cool, and I want them to go explore that more.
That's my number 2.
Oh,
That's my number 2. My number 2 is
number
the Jedi tomb. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be land speeders flying into the docking bay. That was sick. We need more of that, please. Thank you. Goodbye.
My number 1 is Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. I literally like when he lit the ground on fire. He's like, "Ground, you were on fire."
My number 1 is also Darth Vader, but him walking through that little town, I'm like, whoa.
That's the sure. When he broke he broke a kid's. When that happened, I was like, how does he come back from this? Oh, he doesn't until like very.
He kills all of them. The men, the women, the children.
Yes, Heidi, you were the only ones. You were the only one. No, I saw people commenting on that. I did not get that at all.
Paderma?
Padawan, baby.
Padawan, baby.
By the way, someone noticed also that in episode 3, Leia's hair bun starts to come out. And it comes down like a braid, like a Padawan braid. It comes down like that. So people are very like, I think people watch the show 300,000 times before I even wake up for the day. And they like go screen by screen with that, and then they watch all the every other piece of Star Wars and side by side with it. I think they have like a Batman, like a bat cave of monitors, and they just like frame by frame. This is what I think people do, because look, I wake up and the show's spoiled already. I wake up at 7 a.m. Eastern, and like everyone's like, "Oh my god, the show!" And she's like, "Dude, chill out. We're not there yet. I can't wake up at 3 a.m. I have a job. If I didn't have a job, maybe I could do the 3. I couldn't. I'm too old. Anyway, yes, Satine was Obi-Wan's love interest.
Yeah.
Satine or nothing says there's a big Satine. And then look, when they did that, like when Disney sent out that thing, Brock, like a week before the show came out, they're like, here's what you should watch. There were all Satine episodes of Clone Wars. Why?
Yeah. Exactly. Good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 episodes to go. We might find out.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad they kind of don't, because then it would mean they have to mention Mandalore. So it's like, it's okay.
Yeah, I think we can move on from Mandalore for a little while.
Okay. It's okay. Cool. It's fine. It's good. Yeah. So, hooray. This is the part of the show where James just picks up random things. We've already done the part where you inevitably knock something over.
Well, it's our MO. It's what we do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for chatting. Oh, we have one. Oh, the starred message goes into a separate folder that I can see, Brock. That's all that happens. So Reaver Redemption unstarring that. You're unstarred, and now you're kicked off the show.
Haha.
Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us and chatting along in the live chat. Brock, thanks for talking Star Wars with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
it's even better because you were always scum.
Oh, Rebel Scum.
Scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest